My name's Ash. I lost my brother Rick 7 years ago. He was 10 years younger than me, or is 10 years younger than me. And I've come to this retreat because I was very alone and I found the TCF after 4 years when I just typed in sibling and bereavement because there's just nothing out there. And I think this organisation has been a lifeline to me. And I'm in a different space every couple of years, in a slightly different space. And this provides, I think, for whatever space you're in, to not be alone and to be with other siblings, because everybody knows how you feel. You don't have to explain yourself.
My name's Imogen. I lost my brother Alistair 2.5 years ago in a workplace accident. This is my second time on the retreat, and provides a space to remember your sibling and have that time to kind of like pause from the everyday life to really reflect on what has happened, but also around your sibling's life, and celebrate that as well among people who understand.
My name's Oscar, and my sister died last year from an accident whilst on holiday with her family, and this is the first time coming to this retreat, and it's the first time that I've had a space where I've been able to share with other people who can understand what I'm going through, who also have the capacity available to listen to what you're going through and hear your grief.
I think, having been last year, I had a bit of an idea of the format of the weekend and the workshops on offer, and also how it's run in terms of it's very relaxed and you can take part in whatever you choose. You're not expected to go to anything or everything, and even if you do go, you're not expected to talk. So I felt quite comfortable this year coming, whereas last year I was quite apprehensive, I think, and it felt very overwhelming walking into a room, for the people you don't know, but also knowing that everyone's been through something similar to yourself. So apprehension initially, but then knowing this year it was sort of something I knew would be helpful to come back to.
Yeah, agreed. I think the first one I went to, it was still newer, so I was in probably a darker space. I've said that a lot, haven't I? I was in a much darker space, angrier, sadder, and I think it was kind of like, I don't know what else to do, so I went, but I was very apprehensive. The idea of walking in with your vulnerability for a weekend in a room full of people you don't know, and what you're used to outside, the mask you put on to have normal life, because it makes everyone else uncomfortable. The welcome and the openness, because everybody's in the same space, everybody is vulnerable, and everyone gets to be their real self in that moment, and there's no pressure. Like this retreat, so many people were participating by being there, but they didn't want to share, and that's okay too. And I was apprehensive a little bit for this one because I had a break in between, but it was easier to come because I've already been before, and this time round I've definitely got more joy out of it and the fun that I had with my brother, as opposed to focusing on the loss, because that's not all that he's about. Like 27 years prior, his personality, get to bring that out.
Yeah, I think, even, I know maybe this one would, but even the people that didn't speak, you get something from seeing them here working through their grief and trying to understand it the best they can, and you really appreciate them being here. I felt pretty apprehensive driving up. I was sort of kind of being like, can't be bothered. But once I got here, it was immediately calming. I didn't know what I wanted from the weekend, and I didn't know who I wanted to meet. I thought I wanted to just meet people who had lost a sister, who had been a similar age and it had been a sudden accident or something, and I felt like all of those things were relevant. And once I got talking to everybody, I realised that that's not the most important thing at all, and actually just finding people who are approaching it with a similar energy, and even if they're not, learning from how other people are dealing with it, and that in itself, I found like value from each and every person that I've met, which surprised me and has been, I don't know how to describe it really, just a pleasant surprise, I guess. Yeah.
So I went to like a small group sharing where the topic was managing relationships, which was really helpful because in the group we shared all the different sorts of relationships that need managing and perhaps have changed following loss. So whether that's your family relationships, like your parents or the siblings, romantic relationships as well, friendships. So a lot of different dynamics came up and different experiences came up. So I think it was just good to be able to air everyone's own experience, and then we also gave each other sort of informal tips and advice and what had worked. So again, it's that shared experience was really powerful, and helped to feel sort of less alone, and even to overcome perhaps some roadblocks were in place with like my own relationships. But it's always in that really safe environment, which is really useful.
One of the sessions that I found the most helpful was the breathwork session that I took part in. That the weekend is incredibly high emotions, and I knew I was kind of at capacity in my mind, but I didn't quite realise how helpful it would be to just take an hour to focus in and look to focus on your breathing and through your body, and it was a really relaxing and also quite emotional time to just process not only your grief but also how everyone's coping with it at this weekend and anything you've taken away from it. So it's really important time to reflect on that.
I did the memory cafe, and that's kind of one of the places where it helped me remember the life of my brother as opposed to the sadness. So in the memory cafe they give you a prompt like what was your sibling's favourite band or artist or whatever, and you start remembering things because you don't normally remember those things, and things that you take for granted, like your favourite TV show, just sitting there watching it. And so that was good. Some very funny prompts in there, and you think, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that, actually this has come to mind. And then other people share as well. You bounce off each other and it triggers other memories, which is nice actually, because I keep thinking I've lost a lot of memories, and then little triggers happen and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was so much fun. Yeah, so that's been really good.
I would say it's just a very welcoming and inclusive environment. And what's really lovely is it's such a variety of people. So the length of time people have been bereaved, the age, the way that people have been bereaved, it's really, really varied, but it means that everyone's still got that common ground and experience. And so I think everyone can sort of like almost tap into each other, and you're having those conversations. And while the groups and the sort of programme is really helpful, you've also got these special like moments where you're just having conversations like over dinner or at the pub, or like more informal conversations. And it's just finding that community that perhaps out in the world you don't have, which helps with like the loneliness and just getting to talk around your experience, but also like we were saying about sharing your sibling and like having that time to kind of reconnect with them. I think is really, really helpful.
Yeah, I think I would mainly want to kind of let other brothers know about this space, and that it's an atmosphere that is accessible for men to share how they're feeling, show emotion. There's men here of all ages who lost siblings perhaps 20 years ago and now they're middle-aged, who have wisdom to impart, and you see them choking up still talking about their brother or sister now, and it sets a precedent that that's okay, and also shows you that this is going to be with you for forever, and that's okay, and that it's important to continue working on it throughout that time.
Yeah, and it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I would give a Nike slogan, just do it. There will be apprehension. I think I said it before, it's like that vulnerability, and you kind of be somebody else, like a new you. And what I found is this gives me a space to be the real me, and it's almost like I'm spending time with my brother. And I don't get that feeling very often. I feel how much I miss him a lot, you know, at Christmas, things like that. And so this is nice. It's almost like we've all brought our siblings with us, and we're like telling stories like, oh, you'd never guess what he did, you know, that kind of thing. So I would tell any sibling that's considering it, doesn't matter what your situation is, we all have something in common, but like you said, we're very different. And those questions that you have, I think nobody else knows what this feels like. Like I remember asking, does it mean I'm an only child now? Or am I still a sister? Or I don't know where I fit. And then you come here and other people say things that you're thinking, and the anger's okay, and the sadness is okay, and the crying, or the love and the being happy, and there's no guilt about that. And it's amazing you get to have a space, and I really don't think there is a space out there for us. So there's something for everyone here.